What's up, y'all? Robbie Rat here. And I'm just chilling, taking a minute from loading firewood into the garage, sipping on some emergency. I drink this stuff pretty regularly in the winter. Try to do it daily. Just try to keep healthy. I haven't been doing it lately, and I've been noticing the effects of it. The whole family's just getting off of being sick. Pretty nasty little respiratory infection type cold that we all had going on. Also just got back from vacation, actually last night. We went down to Pennsylvania, down to the Lancaster, PA area. We stayed at Hersey Lodge for 2 nights. Excuse me. Got to play in their indoor water park, which was nice. And then Thursday we were at Sight and Sound Theater for the performance of Noah. According to Sight and Sound, this is the last year they're going to be doing Noah. It was the 30th anniversary of them doing the Noah play performance, and it was awesome. I highly recommend, if anyone's not been down to Sight and Sound Theater down in Lancaster, PA area, that you go. It's a pretty epic place, pretty epic performances. Like I said, it's apparently the last year they're going to be doing Noah, but I have a feeling in the future they'll probably bring it back. I know they're starting Joshua in 2026. It seems like that's kind of the replacement for it. This is the first time we've ever been down there, but it came highly recommended from some friends at church and other families that we know that are of the faith. And it was awesome. I mean, with the little kids, it was kind of hard to get through. My daughter started getting unruly right before intermission. My wife had to take her to the family room or quiet room, whatever they call it, there. And she kind of had to sit out the rest of the performance there because my daughter just was not having it. But she's only 2. And between what was supposed to be about a 5.5 hour drive down there, with driving through a snowstorm, both through New York, southern New York, and PA, took us like 7 hours. And then, with kids, you're doing a lot of pit stops, and we stopped about halfway in the Corning, New York, Binghamton area for food and whatnot. Gave the Equinox a little bit of a break. For those of you that follow the channel know that it seems like I've been working on that Equinox constantly lately, so we didn't want to push her too hard. Last thing we wanted was to be broken down there. But again, if you've been following this channel for some time, I've been having some issues with coolant leaks with it, and she had a head gasket done last year. I got my coolant leak figured out, but we still brought a jug of coolant. We brought what was left of a 5-gallon oil change, a jug of oil. I brought some basic tools. What else? Washer fluid, a funnel, light, like a work light, my Milwaukee M12 work light. So I was ready to do basic stuff if need be. I made sure I had a jack and a breaker bar and stuff to get tires and lug nuts off, put a spare on if I had to. But, I topped off all my fluids before I left, check them as we were going, when we were done with lunch on our halfway mark down there, down to Hershey. We, I checked fluids, checked them again when we were at Hershey before we left, because it was about a 45-minute drive down to Sight and Sound, and then before we left yesterday to come back up here, I checked fluids again. But the Equinox did good, but I think that's something I'm going to start pushing more on this channel. Excuse me. Snotty. Is just being more prepared for things, and putting those preparedness kits kind of together, tool kits, survival kits, things like that. I think that's a content I'm going to start pushing more and bringing more to the table. I do that already a little bit with my EDC, what I call it, EDC. Some guys get on me when I've done little shorts about it in the past because I don't carry. New York is a concealed carry only. You can't open carry in New York State. I do not have a concealed carry permit. I do not conceal carry. I don't have a handgun or anything like that. Obviously, you need a concealed carry permit to even own one or buy one in this state. So I don't own one, and I don't carry a handgun. And so whenever I do EDC content, since my EDC does not contain a pistol or something like that, I always get kind of a lot of flack for it, but it is what it is. Somebody on YouTube's always going to find something to give you some grief about. It's the unfortunate truth of the internet, I think, and is what it is. So yeah, just taking a little bit of a break, sitting on what's left of a 2-face cord pile of wood, and got another one behind me that we're going to be tapping into. Oh, there's a ladybug. Hi, baby. Hello. Oh, we're not even on a wide angle. My bad, y'all. Okay, down. I want you in my face. So, let's set this down, do a little bit of a walk around. Like I said, been running wheelbarrows of wood. Each one of these stacks, they're a little bit taller than me. I'm about 5'5", 5'6". These are probably about 6 foot tall stacks of wood. They are about 2-face cords, about 12 feet wide, 6 feet tall. So about 2-face when they're heaped up. Got some old chimney I tore out of a job here that's in really nice shape. I got the support box, the attic insulation shield pieces here. Got the top and the cap and everything like that. The only thing I didn't get was the flashing boot. It got pretty shredded up coming out, but I think this might go for possibly the greenhouse or possibly the center building when we redo it, to hook up a small logwood stove that I have. That's a project for another day. Like I said, we're mostly doing firewood. Here's what's left of the garlic harvest. We got all the good stuff for eating in. We got all the best of it in the ground out here. Let's go over real quick and check some stuff out. I've been working so much lately that I haven't had a whole lot of time to finish putting little stuff like the barista table set away. I gotta get this stored into the barn there. Got a good bit of wood dumped in here so far. Gotta get it loaded back up. The basement is almost completely empty. Probably got about 2 or 3 more wood stove loads left. Like I said, there's just random stuff that never got put back away. Tool shed. Greenhouse. We didn't get very far at all with this year, which sucks. I wanted to get further. Wanted to at least get the poly on it so I could have a accelerated start to this coming season, but what are you gonna do? It's further than I've got with it in the last 5 years, so that's saying something. You can see where the kids have been romping through the garden, which is goofy. And this bed here got planted in garlic. We got 3, oh, you can't see my hands, 3 rows in this year. We've only ever really done 2, so this should be the biggest year for us for garlic we've had so far. We got this row planted, and I believe it's this row here, which I noticed, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I do this whole thing where I grow my snap peas. We eat the heck out of the snap peas on the bed. Say, if this is the garlic bed, which it is, then they would have been here before, which garlic was just here. This bed was snap peas. So come next year, spring of 26, this will be planted in snap peas for the garlic, to then move over to this, trying to kind of reinvigorate that soil. Not only do the peas, being a legume, if they have the right bacteria in the soil, fix atmospheric nitrogen back into the soil in minute amounts, but still some's better than none. We're amending a little bit too, but we're trying to do less and less of that and to rebuild our soil in a more natural way. But peas will get grown on this, and then grown, and then let go on their trellis, seed saved, and then the stalks are all cut even with the ground. Roots are to rot back into the ground, and then come planting time, the garlic switches in the fall next year from this bed 5 that it's in, to bed 6 here. And I noticed when I did this bed this year, because garlic was in that bed 4 last year, this year / last year, right? And peas were in this one. This was really beautiful soil and much better than down there in bed 9 when I planted it, and much better than bed 1 when I planted it. And that was to give some staggering out because I'm going to be planting this whole garden this coming year. This bed being the worst of it because the soil is encroaching back in and taking back over, as you can kind of see, because some of it's peeking back out. This whole right edge of it, this whole, it'd be the eastern edge of it, was really trying to come back in and take back over. So I really got to get in here in 26, and I really got to kind of dig a lot of this out and wood chip all this, give myself a perimeter to really separate the lawn from this. It's something I've been wanting to do, trying to do, but hasn't been getting done in a timely fashion like I'd like. Elderberries are all put away from the season. We're going to be taking lots and lots of cuttings off of these in the next month or two for hardwood cuttings for propagation, and we're excited for that. They've really been taking off. It's been a blessing to us and to the chickens and to the wild birds and the critters too. So really excited on them and all that they've been doing for us. The chickie chicks are in their makeshift shanty for the year. It's not even fully finished, but got some fencing around it. Got some little shanty village. Line it all with bales of straw. Like I said, it's not finished. Fencing ends here. I got to get it around and back, straight back to this post here. Not my best setup, and we got to get their permanent run done this coming year. That's what, you can't see them, the firewood's in the way, but there's a pile of posts over there that are for just that. They got their feeder hidden in here. That's what this little structure's for, as well as a little trough feeder here with scratch grains in it, water, the cord being ran to it. I believe that's a 8 or a 10 gauge 100-foot cord, runs from the lean-to. There's a plug, GFI'd plug in there for it. And then in the next couple days to a week or so, I'll be hooking up some, I like to run Christmas lights around here. Makes it look like the chickens are festive and having a good time for the year, but also I put them on like a timer, so they come on periodically throughout the night and hopefully keep predators away and at bay. Nobody's in here. Where are they? They in there? They're hiding somewhere. Yep, they're down there. It's hard to see. It's super dirty. There's some chickens hanging out down in there. And that's what this is for. Another haven for them to go, be kind of protected. And there's periodic places where they can pop out underneath, stay sheltered, mostly from the wind, which is mostly coming from the southwest, from that direction. So we've got a good bit of firewood put up. I got these ones off the ground before the winter. Got all these pine logs over here put up. Here's the post for the chicken run I never got started. The rest of the elderberry hedge here, that's the easternmost edge of it. So we got the road here and the burn pile. We got lots of them. Oh, the fig and the pawpaw that survived. Pawpaw, fig, some thyme. Always time for thyme. Looks like the ladybug's been running around out here. More elderberries. These are actually a wild cultivar that we put in here along the edge, trying to screen the whole roadside in. Oh, gotta get all this pine cleaned up. This stuff's been stacked as I take a branch to the eyeball for about a year. And we got all this stuff that I never got to this year. We put up about 14, 15 face cord for this year. This stuff will be for next season. Lord willing, we'll get through this season with what we got. A lot of maple in here, some ash, some cherry. And then along the back side of the property, we got a good bit of stuff. I still got a good bit along this edge, which I've shown y'all a couple times throughout the year. There's some maple and some poplar back there. Mostly what that is. Look at that. Where are the winter hats? Take that. There's always something going on, even when it's freaking cold. This wind is unrelenting that comes across these fields. As you can see, it don't have much to stop it, especially here in the winter. But we got this little ash sapling came down. This one came down that's leaning into the soft maple. Got another one that doubled back toward the field there. Thankfully, take the danger out. This ain't gonna be smart. Don't try this at home. I'm gonna go under it. I gotta get all the fencing up before it gets beat up in the wind. Thankfully, none of them hit my plum or anything. And then another thing I'm gonna be taking a bunch of cuttings from here in the next month or two is these currants that I put in. I had a buddy that wants them. He does a small nursery locally here, and he wants a bunch of elderberry cuttings from my wildwood, and a bunch of these black currant cuttings. So obviously these ain't gonna yield me a whole lot of cuttings this year. It's just 3 of them, and they're still massively small. But I'm gonna give them a light trim, and I'm gonna plant the cuttings and see what happens. I might even save my cuttings off these this year for planting out more of my own food forest, because we got all this to still be planted out, and not a lot of time to do it. Well, there's always time, but sometimes it feels like it's fleeting. Hazelnuts, they were good to us this year. A lot of new growth here on Hazel Hill. Like I said, we're pretty darn thankful for them. They gave us their first small crop of hazelnuts this year, which is pretty freaking cool. Gotta get in here. These are all blackberries. I gotta tame these up a bit. I'm gonna run some strings between these lines, between these posts, I mean, and have those lines hold them up more upright, easier picking and management. And then it'll make it easier to manage floodland kind of around it down here. That's a little winter walk through the homestead. But these are a thornless variety. I believe these are, oh goodness, what were these for a cultivar? I can't remember. Delicious, big old berries in it. Primark, maybe? I don't know. Don't really know. I know one thing is for sure. Got a bunch of arborvitae, or eastern red cedar. Arborvitae is white eastern white cedar. I want to start planting some windbreak along this whole side of this property. What you smell, girl? Get 'em. Smell 'em? Get 'em. She's easy to get riled up. Pretty darn fun. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I'll drop a couple more of these ash to add to firewood piles for next year. I'd like to get this one down here. If the winds don't do it for me. Got this flowering cherry here I've been slowly trying to unearth, so I might try to drop this one here. Give it more space to come back and flourish. This old apple here that I want to bring back. So I also might try to get this one fell out and away from it. But But all these ash ultimately gotta go. Look at this one, it's just starting to lose all its bark. They're getting rough. They're getting almost to the point where it's getting too dangerous to drop them. This one's coming down too. This one here needs to get dropped the rest of the way down and out. And then theoretically, dropping these 3 here. That one, that one, that one. I don't like being near this one, especially when it's windy. I don't know if y'all heard that cracking. This one here is ready to come down. I almost dropped it about a week ago, but honestly, I'm kind of nervous to drop this without how punky this is getting. That sucker's a widowmaker right there. That's why I just jumped pretty good when I heard her make those creaking sounds when I had my back turned away. But regardless of starting to get punky, I bet you there's a whole bunch of good firewood still hiding inside that thing. Alright, y'all. I made it all the way around full circle. Winter walk through the homestead. Hope everyone's having a good time. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, good Turkey Day, and I hope everyone will have a Merry Christmas. Take care.